the opening vistas of space promise high costs as well as high reward. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained. The exploration of space is one of the great adventures of all time. And we mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it.
Welcome back. There we go. Sometimes it takes the capture a bit to capture. All right. Let's get to it.
Okay, rookie. Remember, they shoot at us, that's on them. They chose their fate. It's open season on assholes. It's my preference to take Hannibal in alive. He's more valuable that way. But if it comes down to it, we'll do what we've got to do. Let's go get him.
Dangerously low temperatures here. Keep an eye on your vitals.
I did download the alternate version of the lockpick mod. As you can see, it's still extremely easy and quick. It just opens the lockpick mini game now. Which is a good thing. I also downloaded a couple of mods that make certain parts of my personal enjoyment easier, better. Basically, I get more use out of a couple of skills. Specifically related to shields and cargo. I looked for a couple of the other mods I was looking for, but did not find them, so still haven't gone to the Nexus. That'll probably be later.
We're under attack! Don't let them into the loading bay! We're going into lockdown!
He's in the loading bay.
Get some cover now!
Winner takes all is the phrase, is it not? quiet. Did you hear that?
My love-hate relationship with zero-G environments still exists, but that was pretty cool.
Come back, you coward!
You tell him, Andre. No,
Take what you must. Leave the rest for the scavengers.
no, not Andre.
I believe the threat is gone for now.
I thought about Andy, but nah, she wouldn't like that. Drasia? Ooh, I like Drasia. Yeah, we'll see if we can... We'll see if we can remember to refer to her as Drasia from now on. I don't know why, but I don't like the large cartons of milk in this game. Oh my god, would you... Even a bullet-riddled vacuum tape is still vacuum tape. I feel like I'm missing a body in here, but don't know where it went, so... I suppose we'll just have to let it go. Except I don't wanna. The one thing that is missing from this game is an equivalent to Wonder Glue. And I say that it's missing because you show me a world that doesn't have super glue in it, and I'll show you a fake world. Wonder Glue was the Fallout 4 equivalent. Well, Fallout, period. Period, full stop.
I'm impressed. I could not accomplish that.
I could teach you. Here's my issue is I know I saw a spacer go this direction, but I don't know if it was a spacer or if it was the body of a spacer I killed. And the way 0G interacts with bodies is... It could have fully disappeared. Oh well. Alright, let's go over here. Alrighty then.
someone or something will clean up whatever's left behind.
Zero-G environments are one of those places I heavily use scanners because you don't know where things are floating. And they can sometimes be hard to see even with a scanner. It would actually make a ton of sense for a shipbuilder or a chop shop to work in zero-G. That being said, considering a lot of these ships land on planets, it might make more sense for them to build on a planet in order to build with tolerances for gravity. I don't know. Like, if these ships were only meant to stay in space, then yeah, building them in space entirely would make sense. But then again, so if that's a gun, then there's a body that hasn't been discovered. And it's not this body because they still have their gun.
extra ammunition is always welcome if they have any.
Hey, right where it said it'd be. Well, you know what to do. Time to crack that sucker open and fire that missile.
My justification for both the Tranquility Cups and the Terror Brew Cups being what they are is that they are not like what, though they look like what we understand a coffee cup to be, they are fully sealed, much like every other type of container in the NASA Funk aesthetic. The full sealing of the cups being easily simple. Think of it like the lid may not be fully sealed, though it could be. But there's basically just a plastic covering over the actual cup part, and you either use some kind of a built-in straw / piercing element to get through it to drink your coffee, or the lids themselves, while clearly being disposable, could have an element to allow you to drink while still remaining sealed. They just designed the cups to look like a more classic variant of what was understood of the moment of this is a coffee cup. And it's kind of the same thing with the styrofoam cups that you see. Because while it's fairly rare, there is situations where you can find styrofoam cups with lids on them as well. So the assumption I make, the justification I make for the cups looking like that is that it's just a look. You know, and in fact, styrofoam, while it calls it a styrofoam cup, they may not actually be made of styrofoam. They may be made of some other material that is more durable or possibly more biodegradable. Who knows? I don't get the impression that things are very biodegradable in this world, though. In fact, I get kind of the opposite impression that the disposable society that we live in is part of the aesthetic of this environment, just like everything else, you know?
Profit is never necessarily the aim, but if there is something worth taking...
Drasia gets it. Now, I'm not saying I need a pool minigame in this, but I am saying they've put pool tables, pool cues, and pool balls into the game graphically. Even worse, they put the pool balls and the pool cues in here, but you can't do anything with the pool cues. I mean, in Fallout 4, you could turn them into weapons. Still couldn't play pool in Fallout 4 either, but at least they allowed you to do something with the pool cues. This game, nope. Nuffum. Nuffum, eh? While I do like that the vending machines in this station don't work, because it would make sense that they don't, because nobody's replenishing them, because this has been taken over by spacers. One, I would have liked it if they would have made a broken vending machine visual. You know, like a cracked screen, have this look like it's not lit up anymore, etc. I said one, thinking I had another thing I would want out of that, but no, that's it. Just a cracked visual. Two, I would like to utilize broken vending machines as decorations in my outposts and ship or whatever. I love that they have all the vending machines in this game. You know what kind of vending machine is missing in this game? A resource vending machine. In fact, two kinds of resource vending machines. One that sells stuff like this, fully produced parts for things, and another that including isotropic coolant and, you know, other weird elements, and another that just sells raw resources. A resource material vending machine feels like it would make sense in this kind of environment.
on, if there's nothing worth taking.
Okay. That's annoying. Because that means that that person could be fully outside. Literally outside the station, in the sense of they're clipping outside. Which does happen in this game, unfortunately. You're not going to want to be in there.
Let's bust in.
Someone locked that for a reason. Let us see what it is.
I hate this captain's bed. This is a captain's quarters hab. The Deimos and the Stroud both have this design, complete with that bed without a mattress. Like, why? I'm accepting of the Deimos one not having a mattress, even though the crew habs, theoretically, the passenger habs have quite comfortable looking beds. Why would you design this to be just a plank? No. And especially not in the Stroud version of that, which this might be the Stroud, I don't know. I can never tell the difference between the in the interiors. I know there's a lighting difference, but obviously this is not lit in the first place. The Stroud lighting, I think, is actually the darker lighting, and the Deimos lighting is brighter. Might be reversed. Same thing for Hope Tech versus Teo. They both use the same interiors as well. The only difference is the lighting. The Teo lighting is definitely brighter. I know that much. And I don't actually mind that it's essentially just palette swapped interiors or whatever. Palette swapped isn't the exact. It isn't the exact right term, but it's essentially what's happening. The reason I'm okay with it is because of the idea of corporate culture, and it's totally plausible that two corporations would just rip each other off.
Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets.
Happens constantly in real life, so I totally don't mind that they have the two designs so almost identical, with the exception of possible lighting. There might be some actual color swapping, so palette swap might be the right term. But whatever the case, that bed, no. There should be a mattress on it. That's dark. Setting up the idea that 8 people left for greener pastures, and then they end up here. It's in fact the reason I almost never use the captain's quarters from Deimos or Stroud. Because, what? I'm gonna sleep on a plank? No. Don't be stupid. The irony being that the Stroud and Deimos captain's quarters both look very similar and have that plank bed, and who would sleep on that? Meanwhile, the Hopetech and Teo all-in-ones, passenger spaces, living quarters. Their beds are somewhat equally awful. They're basically just stretched out canvas, like a cot.
Gonna take more than that! Reload! It's payday.
And then the Stroud and Deimos have really comfortable passenger spaces. You know, it's kind of it almost makes me wonder if they meant to do it the other way. And I say almost because clearly they didn't, because the actual design of the structure of the Habs indicate that those are Deimos and Stroud, you know, because they have the, like, triangular, you know, the angled and edged interiors instead of the more rounded interiors of Hopetech and Teo. Excuse me, Dre. Drej. Andreja, please. Good grief.
Best not to leave anything useful behind.
I rarely do.
give up! Whoa! Hold up! You got the wrong guy. I'm not Hannibal, I swear. I just work for him.
Then who are you?
Yeah, of course. I don't want to die. It's like this, see? Hannibal rarely goes out. But when he does, he goes under an assumed identity and leaves me in charge. Sometimes it's a Drastos, sometimes it's Chase, Jackie, Scotty, whatever. He's got 100 of them. It's one of the reasons he never gets caught. I'm just Deke. Deke Hansen.
Motherfuck. I don't want to believe him, but it makes sense.
I have a feeling we're getting to the good part.
I ain't sure there's any parts about this you'd consider good. Whole reason he does this is in case someone comes looking for him. He's gotta have at least a couple dozen other contingency plans even I don't know about.
Luckily, Adrastos, Hannibal, whoever the hell he is still on our ship. He didn't think that part through. What do you want to do with this guy? Your call, rookie. For what it's worth, I don't remember ever seeing a bounty for a Deke Hansen.
We'll take him back to the ship. Let the authorities sort this out. But for right now, you stay with him. I'll go make sure Hannibal's still secure.
Sounds good. I can handle Deke if he gives me any trouble.
Hello, trackers. By now you've probably found my associate Deke and learned that he is not in fact me, and that I am not who I said I was. Darn it, I know, right? Anyway, if you look out the window, you can see I'm taking your beautiful ship. Thanks, by the way. But don't worry, I won't leave you stranded. I'm not that bad a guy. You'll find a container nearby with a key to an old junker that should hold up long enough to get you home. I've left you some other goodies too, just so there's no hard feelings. It should unlock now. As for me, I think I'm out of the stolen ship business after this, so I won't trouble you anymore. So long, and thanks for playing.
Well, ain't that a son of a bitch?
God damn, he wasn't kidding. This thing looks like it can barely fly.
Still, that Hannibal is something else. Could have marooned us and left us to starve. At least we can get home.
Sorry about this, Drej.
Space. Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you for contraband. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Well, that didn't go well. Walter, I see you made it out alive.
I would not mind stopping at the Laredo storefront. I appreciate their craftsmanship.
All right. I never would have considered you as a Laredo person, but we can do that. Okay, where the fuck is ship services? Oh, I just totally missed him sitting there instead of there.
Anything
Wow,
I can
I'm
help
blind.
you with? Need some work done? Okay, no.
Oh my word. I know this ship. This is a shield breaker. My partner wanted to stop by Laredo, so we're gonna stop by Laredo.
Aquila's one of the oldest cities in the settled systems.
What is it about Laredo that you enjoy?
I would move the stars for you. But I hope it does not come to that.
Got something for me?
This caught my eye, and I thought of you.
You know I like credits.
Come back to me soon, dearest. Every gun gets a full Laredo guarantee.
Let me see.
Here's what I have in stock right now.
Oh, is this one of the towers for the wall? Oh. Never been in one. Neat.
Poor Mr. Crowley. I swear that gal baked ranch.
Welcome back, recruit. I assume your return means you have successfully completed your mission. But where is Hannibal?
I'll let you say it, rookie.
What? He was right with us. Ah, well, what can you do?
Jeez, rookie. Why do you gotta be like that? Show some respect. Hannibal gave us the slip again. I'll give you the details later, no one.
More importantly, Roach, how do you evaluate your partner's performance?
Even if we didn't catch our target, Rookie here did a good job. I stood back and advised. Rookie did most of the work. They'd make a good tracker.
I trust your endorsement, Roach. With that, your assessment is complete. Roach believes you did well. Welcome to the Trackers Alliance. Other bounties on the display will now be available to you, as will the downstairs lounge. There, you will find the Elite Bounty Board, with tougher missions, as well as other amenities and resources. Lastly, you will choose a call sign. This is how other trackers will know you within the Alliance. It will obfuscate your identity and keep you safe.
I mean, there's only one.
It is affirmed. Henceforth, you shall be known among trackers as Mantis.
This is an official bounty commissioned by the Freestar government. It has come to our attention that the mercenary known as the Vulture has become a major national security threat. Recent reports indicate the target is operating on the planet Sumati with a group of veteran mercenaries. The last Freestar law enforcement agent to pursue the target has gone silent. Their most recent coordinates will be provided.
Well, howdy, Tracker.
Well, you're a new face. Ain't every day we get fresh meat for the grinder. What do we call you, Tracker?
Is he not as good as you then? Because that's kind of what it sounds like.
Same old face I've always had. Not what you meant, though, is it?
Should have seen that one coming. I appreciate a tracker with a sense of humor. It's a nice change from the usual. A lot of them around here are all brooding, strong, silent, I work alone types. It's refreshing to talk to someone who ain't.
Name's Mantis.
Mantis? Not like the Mantis, though, right? You know what? Better to leave it a mystery. What can I get for you, Mantis? Oh, where are my manners? They call me Two-Shot, or even Touche for short. Used to be a tracker in the field like you, but I traded in gunslinging for slinging drinks. I sell drinks to wet your whistle and other provisions you may need out there. So what'll it be?
Two-Shot?
Funny you ask. Most trackers choose their call signs. So did I. Used to be called Solar Flare, but enough people started calling me Two-Shot that it stuck. When I was out there, it never took me more than 2 shots from my firearms to bag my target. Thought I would have given it up once I retired from tracking to have a kid. I pour such strong drinks that now they say it doesn't take any more than 2 shots to down a tracker. So, it's stuck. I'm just happy they decided to keep me on the payroll.
So you must know a lot about the other trackers, then.
You know it, Sunshine. Who do you want to know about?
Well, everyone. Let's start with, Agent No One.
There's no story there. That's kind of the point with any Agent No One. You gotta give up your identity completely when you become leader of the trackers. That job comes with a giant target on your back. So, the less people know, the better. Agent No One is like a closed book. If that book were also glued, clamped, chained, and buried underneath an active volcano on the most distant moon of the most distant planet of the furthest star system.
Don't lay it on too thick. What about Roach?
He talks a big game, even has the skills and stats to back it up. But you probably also know as well as I do that he is fiercely competitive. You can either play into it or ignore it. He's not that bad once you get to know him. You ever wonder why he's called Roach, huh? It's because he seems to be unkillable. Not literally, of course, but he's managed to get himself out of some extremely sticky situations unscathed. Yama, you tracked blood in all over my damn floor again earlier.
Yes, that was likely me.
Well, could you not? I'm tired of cleaning up after you. I mean, look at you now. Not a speck of blood on you. You clearly know how to clean up after yourself.
For you, I will try to be more careful, but I make no promises.
Fine. Well, maybe I don't make any promises to give you a clean glass to drink out of. How's that for you?
About that drink.
Take a load off. Have a cold drink. Unless I've got anything a tracker might need to take the edge off after a long day.
I mean, if you people don't want your credits, I'm not going to say no. I don't think you actually play this game, so I'm gonna go ahead and take all these balls. Say something if you don't want me to. Nothing? Perfect.
If it's advice you need, then advice I'll share.
Who are you?
I have seen death. I have seen tragedy. I have seen more beg for their lives than I can count. But what I haven't seen is a fledgling tracker seemingly so willing and eager to speak with me so soon after joining. What knowledge do you hope to gain from our interaction?
I've always wanted to know how they get the food to be perfect cubes at chunks.
I will not acknowledge that with a response. I hope you take any further conversation more seriously. I am Yama. I borrow this name from the god of the dead, who judges the souls I usher to him.
Tell me about yourself, oh dark and broody god of death.
There is not much I wish to divulge. Whatever you have heard about me is likely true. I do not bring back my targets alive. I aim for brutal efficiency. I do not work well with others. You must know, I do not feel the need to appease or delight anyone. I take jobs no one else wants, and I always get it done. That is my value.
Oh, mighty edgelord, tell me more interesting stories.
My stories are not for your amusement. But I will share one so that you may learn from my mistake. There was one time I decided to let a man live. He had a family, a wife, 3 children. He showed me a picture. They looked happy. He begged I let him live and spend the rest of his days incarcerated. So, at least he could see them occasionally and watch his children grow up from afar. He escaped from prison. He went home and murdered his entire family, and the family next door, and several others. By the time I found him again, he had killed himself, robbing me of the chance to pass him off to face his eternal judgment. Never again.
So you never bring in your targets alive?
Correct. A criminal fugitive is already trying to run from justice. They will do it again, if given the chance. It is in their nature. Would you allow even a slim chance that they escape again? Even if they turn from their criminal path, would you deny their victims true justice?
I'd rather bring them in alive so justice can do its job, but more importantly, what if they are actually innocent?
You put your faith in humankind when I have seen it at its worst. Simply put, we are fallible, and as such, so is our justice system. Even if you do not believe in the divine, I doubt you could sleep well knowing a corrupt justice system allowed a criminal to escape when you had the authority to enact justice yourself.
But your logic is circular because you just said we are fallible. So by that logic, your decision to kill them could be fallible. I can see you don't care. You have a nice day.
May the shadows guide your path. If you're here to convince me not to kill again, you're
What's your
wasting
story?
Time, old man.
Ugh, now hold on. It ain't always about that.
All right.
I just want to know where you got that new hardware I saw you walk in with earlier.
I got it from Stash. Traded that old currency he deals in for it.
I can't confirm that. Ain't that something? You give him junk. I can confirm that too.
Are you a member of the Trackers Alliance?
Agent Koios, at your service. Keep it quick and don't waste my free cycles.
What does Koios stand for?
No, it is a pseudo-acronym meant to emphasize my station as hardware and software. My programmer thought it would be clever, but clearly it goes over most heads. Koios was a Greek Titan god, born of Uranus and Gaia. He was known as a Titan of knowledge and queries. But I wouldn't expect you to know that.
I like your style, Koios. What is it you do here?
Mostly stand around waiting for someone to interact with me. I am connected to the tracker database, so when a tracker either has or needs information about a certain target, they come to me. My directive is to assist trackers with any queries they have, and if desired, give advice based on the information we have compiled.
Well, I don't have any questions right now, but I like you.
Leave no quarter, show no mercy.
You bet. I'm assuming that's your private bathroom. You got a story worth hearing?
Well, if it ain't, now what call sign did you take again?
Your mom.
You and I both know that ain't it. Enough with the jokes.
No, really, it's your mom.
Right. And I'm really your dad. Sorry I didn't teach you more original jokes. Now, ain't it past your bedtime, kiddo?
Okay. What's your mom's actual name? Because that's what I picked.
Now listen here. It was fun the first couple times, but if you can't show your fellow trackers some proper respect, you ain't gonna last long in this organization. Now, I ain't the fun police, but I hope I've made myself abundantly clear.
Yes, sir.
Good. So remind me again what I'm supposed to call you?
Do I really need to share it with you?
If you want to chat with me, yeah. I know we don't do real names as part of the job, but I'd like to know who I'm talking to, if you don't mind.
Well, you won't believe me, but it's Mantis.
Mantis? Huh. Could be confusing with the real Mantis out there, but, why not? Well, I can see why you'd take that name. You got my seal of approval, not that you need it. Name's Bloodhound. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Tell me about yourself, Bloodhound.
Sure. I don't mind sharing a little about myself, but, not too much. I'm no agent number 1, but I'm still a tracker. Been a tracker for over 30 years. Before that, I was what you might call a freebooter. I won't tell you what I did, but sure as hell wasn't above board. Well, suffice to say, that life can weigh on your soul. After a few close calls and some introspection, I came to the idea that I could do some good instead. Of course, it's hard to translate those kind of skills to the workforce, so here I am. Always saw to it to bring in my targets alive, in case they have any similar revelations.
Sounds difficult, but I agree with bringing him in alive.
Yep, every single time. It ain't too hard when you've lived my life and seen the things I've seen. Folks deserve a second, third, even fourth chance. I'm living proof of that. Tell me, let's say someone puts a bounty on your head that you rightfully didn't deserve, or Maybe you slipped up and had a bad day. You think it's right that they get to play executioner?
I imagine it's a bit too situational to adhere strictly one way or the other.
You see, that's what you call a slippery slope. You justify it once, you can justify it again. Sooner or later, you end up like old Yama over there, believing yourself some servant of the god of death or something, and thinking you're doing them poor souls a favor. Ain't no life for me. Anyway, you're gonna do you, and I won't judge. Don't come crying to me if you can't reckon with your own demons.
What would you consider a tip for this particular line of work?
Sure. I'm a veritable wealth of information. Anything particular on your mind?
Just general tips.
Well, it ain't what I'd call hot tips, but they serve me well. Eat right, stay hydrated, exercise, just stay healthy. Don't hunt if you're sick. Last thing you want is an errant cough or sneeze to give you away when you're trying to use the element of surprise.
Makes sense. What would you consider the best way to take someone alive?
Personally, I prefer the diplomatic approach. Just because we're all certified badasses who could easily lay out the toughest spacer punk doesn't mean you're not human. If you ask me, words are a tracker's most effective tool. You'd be surprised how far a little sympathy can take you sometimes. Failing that, most targets are cowards. They don't want to die. Exploit that fact when you can.
Honestly, it's good philosophy. Though, my personal preference, just blast them with an EM weapon. What do you do if your target gives you no choice but to kill them?
Now that's a tough one. Depends on the situation. If you can't convince them with words, you may have to rough them up and put the fear of God in them. I suggest you learn as much as you can about human anatomy and physiology. It ain't pretty, but there are many things you can do to a body that ain't lethal, but may cause someone to wish they were.
All right, then.
You got it, Chief.
Got any good stories you want to tell?
Loads. But let me tell you just one. So, I'm down at some ass-backwards moon outpost out in the boonies. Got this old feller in my sights who's wanted for thieving from Ryujin and the other big corpos. Now, he don't know I ain't gonna shoot him, but he's itching to do something stupid. Then his kids come out. His grandkids form a circle around him. Turns out, he's stealing so they can all just have a life. I get it. So I let him go. Far as the corpos know, he's dead.
Tough decision. Not sure what I'd do.
I tell you, it ain't an easy job, no sir. Some will tell you to do it as written. Me? I like to sleep soundly.
Good philosophy. Pleasure talking to you, Bloodhound. Sorry I gave you such a hard time at first. Talking to Yama as my first real conversation here maybe put me on a little attitude problem. Have a nice day.
Good luck out there.
You tracked blood in all over my damn floor again earlier.
Yes, that was likely me.
Well,
Hey.
Could you not?
What the hell are you doing?
How's your gear holding up?
Hey!
How about that? We got a new tracker in the building. Name's Stash. And I'm more than just a pretty face. You ever need my help, you can step right over here to my little corner and we can talk shop. Whether it's for business or pleasure, that's up to you.
How's that for you?
You can stop pointing that gun at me.
I'm working on getting some new stock, so check back again later.
Well, if it isn't the rookie.
All right.
Watch more than you speak. You'll learn faster.
Tell me about yourself and why you came after me.
I'm pleased you chose to join us. Call me Inevitable.
Inevitable, your call sign.
Yes. I chose this call sign to remind me how important it is to take my time. My work may take longer than others, but I never make mistakes. And I always find my quarry. No one has escaped me in over 40 years.
What does it matter if I joined or didn't?
In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't. The Trackers Alliance will function and thrive even without your help. Nevertheless, I agree with Agent Number 1 that you could prove to be a valuable asset for the Alliance. I would rather you with us than against.
Ah. Well then. I appreciate you bringing me here.
You're welcome. All I did was extend the invitation. You decided to follow through and brought yourself. I didn't choose to recruit you, but I did the research and tracked you down. Surprisingly, it was not easy.
You wouldn't be so surprised if you knew who I was. Did you think to check with my parents?
Oh, I know about your parents. But after doing some recon, it became clear that your father is not the best at keeping secrets. So it would have been too risky to potentially expose myself. But evidently, you are. They never seemed to know where you were. By the way, you may want to get in touch with your mother. She, complains that you never call her anymore. A lot.
Yeah, well, her consideration of never a call is, oh, it's been a whole day. Of course, it's been a few more than a couple days, but that's not important. I guess I should have made a more obvious trail for you, or my enemies to follow.
No, this is not a condemnation of you in any way. The way you operate is fitting for a tracker. It says more about me. Let's just say it exposes a vulnerability in my armor. Perhaps my skills are not, what they once were.
Well, perhaps my skills are just more than you ever considered. What do you say about yourself?
Not much. I've been doing this longer than any of the other trackers, even Agent Number 1. I pay little mind to the claim I was the best. I've no need to compare and no ego to feed. Not like Roach chasing some asinine record. My specialty is tracking our most elusive targets, which takes longer. Sometimes months or years. I do my job thoroughly, and that's all there is to it. That being said, I rarely go on the hunt these days. My experience is now far more valuable as an agent than a field tracker.
So you're retired?
Not quite. It is rare that a tracker lives long enough that they can choose to retire. Those who do are truly fortunate. Some of us decide to continue our service to the Alliance as agents and offer our services as guides and teachers. Our experience is valued. Does that worry you at all? Does it change your mind about wanting to be a tracker?
I haven't really made up my mind yet. Just taking it one day at a time. I like to have lots of options.
Fair enough. A pragmatic approach is sometimes best. This isn't a gang, you're allowed to leave. Just understand that the work may be more difficult than you might think. Bounty hunting tends to paint a target on your back, and attracts those looking for revenge.
So does being wanted by bounty hunters. Any advice for a new tracker?
Yes. Patience is your #1 virtue. That is something I did not understand fully when I was younger and less experienced. As a novice tracker, I was impetuous. One of my early quarries took advantage of this. He would wait for me to act rashly and falter, which gave him the upper hand he needed to escape. The cycle would repeat. He evaded me for years. It wasn't until I understood the value of patience that I caught up with him and finally claimed the bounty on his head. It's how I earned my call sign. It may take time, but I always get my mark.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Maybe we'll talk again some other time.
Until we speak again.
Hey, what's good? Oh, hey! I heard we were getting a new tracker. Nice to meet you. Call me Tank, 'cause there ain't no stopping me. I'm new around here too, but if you've ever seen me run the Red Mile, you know I'm not just blowing smoke. Anyway, hit me up if you want to swap pointers, or just shoot the shit, you know?
You want to swap pointers?
I don't know. There's got to be something, right? Like, how would you deal with a target that seems ready to blow your brains out, but you know he's not in his right mind? Like he's on Aurora or something.
Sounds pretty specific. This happened to you?
Kind of. Yeah. No, it did. Almost exactly like that. It was my first mission, and I froze up. Luckily, I had a partner for the mission. He was creeping up behind the guy, tackled him and cuffed him before he could do anything. Obviously, I still think about it.
Well, honestly, I'd have to see how it plays out. Don't want to shoot someone unless I have to.
I hear you. Don't want to be too hasty, but you gotta watch your own hide. Unfortunately, you gotta make these decisions fast, so I wouldn't want to hesitate too much. That's a good way to get yourself killed.
How do you feel about being a rookie here?
Good. It's been good. Kind of easy compared to the Red Mile, maybe. I mean, people may be unpredictable, but they're easier to take down than the beasts on Porima 3. Heck, sometimes they give up willingly. And the other trackers seem to appreciate my work. Even the grumpy ones who think I'm too soft. But they shut up real quick when they see me in action.
Why do the other trackers think you're soft?
Probably because I'm too friendly. Almost everyone around here is either all business or standoffish. Maybe that's just what happens after you do this for a while. But nah, not me. Gotta take some time away from being a ruthless bounty hunter to be a real human being, you know? Otherwise, what's the point of it all? And it's the same with some of these targets. Some of them just messed up real bad and deserve another chance. You need to remember, they're people, and not just a picture with the fat cred stick attached.
It's Good philosophy. Well, you have a nice day.
Leave no mercy, show... No, other way around. You get it.
Well, could you not? I'm tired of cleaning up after you. I mean, look at you now. Not a speck of blood on you. You
all right,
clearly
Roach,
know
let's
how to
talk.
clean up after
You ever want to learn from the best? I'm your guy.
Hi, Andresia.
Well, maybe I don't make any promises to give you a clean glass to drink out of. How's that for you?
Can you tell me about yourself now? Don't mind my wife. She's having some issues.
I did tell you I would, didn't I? Okay, fine. Been bounty hunting for a while. Before that, I was a line cook at a shitty little restaurant in Neon, of all things. Got no family, no close friends. In other words, no liabilities getting in the way of being the best tracker in the history of the Alliance. That's me in a nutshell.
I would still continue my duties as an agent, of course.
If that is what
Any
you like,
tips you think you might have?
there are a few I trust.
So you want to learn from the best?
Not what I said.
Let me tell you.
Thank you for
All that matters in
understanding.
this line of work is that you get the job done. Sometimes that means skirting the law. It's usually on our side anyway. Alive or dead means you've got a choice. Don't get too hung up on it. Always go with whatever guarantees success. No sense bringing morality into it. These people are wanted criminals on the run from justice. Last thing, competition is a strong motivator. That's how I got where I am today.
All right.
Don't get yourself killed out there.
How about you, no one?
The Alliance is strong and getting stronger by the day.
Got a story?
I am no one, by design. There has always been and always will be an Agent Number 1 to lead us. Upon assuming the mantle, one loses all traces of identity, including all of one's records and history, even gender and voice. You can imagine, many would seek to do harm to one in this position. To protect family and associates, our identity is more than confidential. It is eliminated from existence.
Was it difficult for you to give up your identity?
Yes and no. When one attains this position, ties to family and other associates are cut off. That is the most difficult aspect. As far as anyone knows, my former self is dead. Records of my life are mysteriously lost. I assume that is difficult for those one leaves behind. However, I am fortunate that I did not have many family, associates, or records to lose. My name was no great loss, nor were other aspects of my identity. I never conformed to gender, for instance. For me, it was an easy decision.
How'd you wipe out all those records?
I will simply state that our partnership with the United Colonies and Freestar Collective comes with some powerful tools.
Interesting. So people only call you no one?
They call me Agent Number 1, or Agent No One. Use they or them when speaking about me, as to further protect my identity. However, that had already been my preference.
Mine too. Well, I hope I don't need to give up my identity. Despite certain background issues I have, I like it.
As a rank-and-file tracker, it is not a requirement, but it is advised, for the safety of those you know. For a leader such as myself, it is an absolute necessity for the safety of the entire organization. Know that to attain my position of leadership, it was a combination of deeds, competency, professionalism, and above all, trust.
And what's the difference between an agent and just any old tracker?
An agent takes on a more administrative role, whereas trackers primarily work in the field. Often, when time and age catches up with the tracker, they become an agent, as their experience and wisdom is valued Both roles are equally crucial to our operation.
Alright. Well, don't, you know, I was gonna say something, but it doesn't matter. Later.
May luck follow you.
Alright. I have a
Fancy
couple
drink,
questions.
Mantis, or just come to bend my ear?
Bend your ear.
Pull up a seat. There's no judgment here. You know it, sunshine.
Tell me about Bloodhound.
Bloodhound's one of the old-timers. He's good people, but I hear that wasn't always the case. I can't say for sure, but based on some of the stories he used to tell, I think he was ex-Fleet. As in the Crimson Fleet. Quite a turn to go from an outlaw to someone who chases outlaws. But the skills transfer pretty well, I imagine.
They seem to. What about Inevitable?
Oh, she's been doing this longer than anyone, I think. She's old, but don't count her out just yet. Rumor is she was next in line for Agent No One, but turned it down after the last one was killed. She even brought the killer to justice. Word is, she just liked fugitive recovery a lot more. Or didn't want the responsibility. I lean more towards the latter. It makes more sense considering she's an agent now. Anyway, they used to say that the longer she bides her time, the more a fugitive has to fear.
And, Tank?
He's a big teddy bear. Such a departure from the norm around here. Oh, I also know he's run the Red Mile under his tracker call sign, which may get him into trouble with someone someday, but it's his decision.
What about Stash? Why is he always pointing a gun?
He fancies himself a charmer, let me tell you. Could talk a heat leech out of an overworked engine compartment. Don't tell him I told you, but he's a bit of a tracker fanboy. Never could quite hack it himself, but that's why he's still here. I bet he could talk your ear off about tracker history and stuff. Lord knows my ears feel a little looser after talking with him.
Tell me about, Yama.
Other than his obsession with death, I don't know much about him. He doesn't exactly open up to others. Everyone says he must have seen or done some pretty terrible things. I don't have anything to go on but that. You know, it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable, and even though he's never done anyone here any harm, or even so much as let anyone down, he still gives me the creeps.
Sounds like a big show to me. Does Koyos count as a tracker?
I like to think of Koyos more as equipment than anything else, but it's still vital to our operations. I don't know who programmed it to maintain and access our database over short-range wireless, but it's secure from what I can tell. I just wish the programmer's attitude didn't show through. I could do without the sass.
I like the sass. And, what about Mr. Ultra Broody here? Warden?
Oh, he isn't exactly the conversational type. Seems to enjoy the company of others, but not talking to them or interacting with anyone in any meaningful way. We just leave him alone and let him do his thing. He doesn't bother us, and we don't bother him. Other than that, I don't know much about him. Seems to be a good tracker, though.
Alright, well, thank you for the info.
Don't be a stranger.
So, this guy pointing the gun, pretty sure that's a bug. But it's a bug that is always there. I've never seen him not pointing a gun. So we're just gonna have a conversation with a guy pointing a gun at us.
What can I do for you?
You could stop being glitchy.
I've been thinking
What do you do here?
about getting back out.
I tinker. I make, modify, and refurbish weapons and other equipment for trackers only. But I don't do it for free, and I don't do it for credits either. I only take Astras. And you get whatever I give you. No questions, no special requests, no refunds.
That is what you would like? Who am I to stop you? There are a few I trust.
What the hell are Astras?
I was hoping you'd ask. Back during the Narian War, there was some serious concern that the banks were going to fail. So some enterprising individuals took matters into their own hands and started minting their own currency, Astras, just in case the worst came to pass. Anyway, Astras are rare, but they're out there, still used in some black market circles since they're untraceable by any government.
You seem shady, and I don't like that you constantly point a gun at me, but others trust you, so I guess I have to.
Darn right they trust me. The modifications are solid. My gear's always held up when trackers have needed it.
I was told you have a lot of Trackers Alliance history.
Yes, indeed, friend. The Trackers Alliance formed in 2217, shortly after the Narian War, as a way for ex-soldiers, mercenaries, and the like to put their skills to use hunting down fugitives. See, at the time, there was a growing trend of vigilantism as the governments had more pressing needs for resources during the war. The Trackers Alliance solved these problems and legitimized the whole bounty system. I could talk all day, but that's it in a nutshell.
So does that mean you're funded by UC and Freestar?
Not exactly. We take a cut of the bounty offered. But since some of these bounties come directly through the governments, it means they're technically paying us. It's just not the only way. We don't work for them, but with them.
Honestly, I know how that feels. Certain people in my life right now think I work for them. I work with them, and there is a difference. Are we accomplishing the goals set out?
Strangely enough, yes. Though I'd be willing to bet the people at the time thought it was a ridiculous notion. But yeah, turns out coming up with a legitimate pathway for something people are going to do anyway solves a lot of problems. That's not to say it's perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was, or else we wouldn't be here.
Thanks for the history lesson.
You betcha. I'm sure there's some literature around here if you want to know more about the founders and such.
Got any good stories?
Matter of fact, I do. But the most interesting ones aren't from my tracker field work. Instead, I'm gonna take you back in time to my youth. See, I was a scrappy little neon street rat. I tinkered, built homemade weapons, and armor made out of scraps I came across. You can imagine who might buy that sort of thing. That's right. Gangbangers and other lowlives. I saw what they used these weapons for. But I had to make money. And it kept me safe from the gangs because they needed me.
And how'd you go from that to becoming a tracker?
Well, I never did care much for those gangs, the way they preyed on folks weaker than them. So, when I found out about the trackers, I decided on a career change. Turns out I wasn't much for following rules. They said I was a bit of a loose cannon. But they liked my equipment, so here I am, peddling wares for other trackers.
I wonder why they would call you a loose cannon.
Well, when you grow up on the neon streets, you learn to fly by the seat of your pants. That doesn't always jive with protocol, even by tracker standards. Too much collateral damage. Don't worry, no one died. But let's just say I may have temporarily increased the homeless population. Anyway, I like what I do now. I'm putting my technical skills to use in a way that Trackers Alliance appreciates.
Sounds like a tough life. Glad you got away from it. Maybe you could get some therapy.
Well, I don't miss it, that's for sure. Good to be where I am today.
So your name's Stash because you've got a stash of equipment. Kind of under the nose, isn't it?
No, and yes. No, it's Stash, like my mustache. Yes, it's kind of on the nose, like my mustache. Well, under it, but you get the idea. But yeah, it does work out like that, doesn't it? You're not the first to suggest it, and I doubt you'll be the last. And before you ask, no, I didn't grow the stash because I got a stash of goods or vice versa. Sometimes nicknames just stick.
Alright, let me see how this works. I've got some Astras. Show me your gear.
I got all sorts of equipment. Let's see those Astras.
Give me something really good.
Thanks. Enjoy your new equipment.
Alright.
Hey, good luck catching bad guys out there.
Yes, that was likely me.
Well, could you not? Tired of cleaning up after you. I mean, look at you now. Not a speck of blood on you. You clearly know how to clean up after yourself.
For you, I will try to be more careful.
There's a dart in the ceiling. Somebody has really bad aim or was extremely drunk. Oh. I'll take those. I'll take that too. And that. Okay. This is one of the weapons that I was talking about in a previous video. It seems like a tool, but it's a weapon. Alright.
That looks like a good adjustment.
I hope you like it. Whoops. And now it's gone somewhere else, so I won't be able to find it. That's fine.
Anything bloodhound?
Nah, I'm good, Touche. Hey, how's the kiddo, by the way?
She's doing great. She just lost another baby tooth. She's really starting to read, too. Her dad's teaching her.
How about that? I remember when she was old, yay high and could barely speak. Oh, bless your heart. You must be proud.
She's the light of my life. You know, she's why I'm not out there. Can't put her at risk, you know. I'll just have to live vicariously through the trackers that stole through here.
I hear that. Well, you know, anyone stupid enough to go after your girl would see us rain fire down on them faster and more ruthless than the wrath of hell itself.
I know. All the same, it was time to get out anyway. Thanks, though.
Check the one display. If you want a partner, you must ask them. Or you can take a mission from the bounty board downstairs if you wish.
Ah, right. Sorry about that. I'm still getting used to everything here. Thanks for the clarification. I'll see if there's anything I feel qualified to do.
I appreciate that you have the skill to modify that.
If you're here to convince me not to kill again, you're wasting your time, old man.
Hold on. It ain't always about that. I just want to know where you got that new hardware I saw you walk in with earlier.
I got it from Stash. Traded that old currency he deals in for it.
I can confirm that.
Ain't that something? You give him junk money, and he gives you high-quality gear.
I can confirm that, too.
I have no qualms with it.
Of course, I don't get what he sees in the stuff. No one outside of him deals in it anymore.
You guys can hear me, right? It's like I said before, I'm collecting it because when it comes back into circulation, I'll have a huge supply of it.
Yeah, we hear you. I just don't think any of us believe it'll make a comeback after 100 years. But hey, you do you, Stash.
Yeah, we'll see. Just because you don't know anyone who deals in it doesn't mean it's worthless. Huh. I know people.
Agent number one?
Yes, Chief.
When am I gonna get another assignment? Itching to get back out there and track down some bounties.
It is like I told you. Now that you are a full-fledged tracker, you will not get assignments, nor will you be assigned a partner. You must do these things on your own. If you want to hunt a bounty, check the warning display. If you want a partner, you must ask for it. Or you can take a mission from the bounty board downstairs if you wish.
Ah, right. Sorry about that. I'm still getting used to everything here. Thanks for the clarification. I'll see if there's anything I feel qualified to do.
May your enemies tremble at the sight of your newly adjusted weapon.
Oh, you know that
Might not be
I value your work
my
as an agent.
enemies specifically.
You've helped us recruit some quality candidates. Are you certain about this?
I believe so. I want to take advantage of the time I've got while I still have some fight left in me. I would still continue my duties as an agent, of course.
If that is what you would like, who am I to stop you? There are few I trust more than you. This you know.
I do. Thank you for understanding. And for your blessing.
You need anything, Bloodhound?
Nah, I'm good, Touche. Hey, how's the kiddo, by the way?
She's doing great. She just lost another baby tooth. She's really starting to read, too. Her dad's teaching her.
How about that? I remember when she was old, yay high and could barely speak. Oh, bless your heart, you must be proud.
She's the light of my life. You know, she's why I'm not out there anymore. Can't put her at risk, you know. I'll just have to live vicariously through the trackers that stole through here.
I hear that. Well, you know, anyone stupid enough to go after your girl would see us rain fire down on them faster and more ruthless than the wrath of hell itself.
I know. All the same, it was time to get out anyway.
So, for some reason, you can't rename the Shipbreaker's cutter. There's actually been some complaints on various forums asking Bethesda to fix that. Good luck. Okay, am I missing something? Did I not? There it is. I am missing something.
If you're here to convince me not to kill again, you're wasting your time, old man.
Ow! It ain't always about that. I just want to know where you got that new hardware I saw you walk in with earlier.
I got it from Stash. Traded that old currency he deals in for.
I can confirm that.
Ain't that something? You give him junk money, and he gives you...
Let's get out of here, because these repeating conversations... I think maybe this Trackers Alliance... you know... They might need to work on their psychology a bit. Maybe it affects the brain.
It's tough living here, but live on your own terms.
A carefully prepared fifth ambush almost resulted in disaster.
Hey, Andreja.
There is no one I would rather see right now.
I would like to give you something.
If there's anything you need, I am happy to share.
No. Other direction. I'll go ahead and take this one from you. And you can decide which of these you want to use. You won't be needing this either. But what you will be needing is the ammo for the other ones. So you need some 40 millimeter. You need some caseless shell. Which I believe is this one. You need 50 cal. Which will serve both of these. You need 0.27. And here, have some more 50 cal just in case. .5. .43 Ultra Mag. And 11 millimeter. And in terms of what you're wearing, yeah, no, we know you aren't going to wear that. You might wear that. Yeah, you're definitely going to keep those. Let's be honest, you're not going to wear that one. And yeah, you won't wear that one either. Okay. I think we're good.
I am so grateful for you.
And I am grateful for you.
You're probably looking for Mary.
You're Mary?
Some days it feels like if I stopped stitching people back together, the whole city would be a ghost town in a week.
Well, how about some supplies?
Here's what I've got on hand.
Activate, deactivated.
Thank you.
Stay safe. I mean it.
The doctor can provide any supplies you might need.
On the plus side of searching for magazines, you will never, so far as I've seen, you will never find them in lockers or, you know, they're always on a shelf or a table or something, relatively easily seen. They can be behind locked doors, though.
You should try Filburn's beer. It's brewed in the city, and it ain't bad.
I have heard very different stories about that beer. In fact, the exact opposite. That it's terrible. Maybe you just haven't had a recent batch.
Well, I know Annie's been trying to rope you into her spy schemes. I hope it's not too much of a bother.
Get it? She's an angel. Truth is, she looks up to you and the Marshal. Trying to keep track of the bad guys is just her way of showing that.
I just hope it's not teaching her to judge people too much.
I'm sure it's just a phase. She's got a good heart. What's the potential?
Why, thank you.
Helga says I spend too much time at my terminal. She's probably right.
Hiya.
Never ever go outside the city walls after sundown. Ashta are more aggressive at night.
You've got potential. Just need to see a little more from you. Oh,
You
you're
think so?
back. How'd it go?
Hey, how'd your day with Leah?
I helped make the Freestar Collective a little bit safer.
I'm sure you did. And I'm glad to know that was your priority. You did what I asked, so let's go meet the Marshal. Follow me.
Hold on.
Can't compete with a guy who's been dead for more than 100 years.
The mayor's all right.
That's just how
Always painting too rosy a picture, though.
I guess we'll talk about
We're
that
headquartered
later.
in the upper floors of the Rock, but we also have remote stations throughout Freestar Collective space. Helps us to identify and respond to threats more quickly. Like I said before, there are less than a dozen Rangers in all, and we operate with limited resources. Thankfully, most people respect us and are willing to cooperate. In this job, your eyes, ears, and wits are every bit as important as your badge and your sidearm.
Speaking of,
Marshal?
Emma! I take it you're here because you're satisfied that our new recruit can handle the job.
Seems like a fine candidate. Got the right priorities.
All right, then. Step forward, recruit. Let me have a word with you.
Why do I need to step forward? Can't you have a word with me right here?
I've got just one question. Do you pledge to defend the people of the Freestar Collective, even if it means risking your own life?
Risk my life? Just how dangerous is this job?
You've already had a glimpse of what we deal with. I'm not going to lie to you. It can get a lot more dangerous than what you've seen. So what's your answer? You up for this?
I guess so.
Not good enough. You need to be sure about this. Now, what's it going to be? You ready to carry a badge?
Sir, yes, sir! I pledge to punish the enemies of the Freestar Collective.
Well, that's not quite the same thing, but it'll do for now. Here, take these. You're now a Freestar Ranger deputy. I'm assigning you to Ranger Wilcox for some field training. Listen good to what she tells you. Welcome aboard, deputy.
Good luck, deputy.
Wish we could throw you a welcome party, but there's work to do. We got word from a farmer on Montera Luna. She says someone's trying to take her farm, and she's afraid she might be in danger.
Tell me more about Montera Luna.
Well, it's a moon that orbits Montera. It's got a breathable atmosphere, warm climate, and good soil for growing.
What about this farmer?
Just the name. Michaela Wagner. There have been Wagoners on Montera Luna for a long time, and I'm sure they're proud of that heritage.
All right. Sounds simple enough.
Well, most things do at the start. Doesn't mean they stay that way. That being said, best not to assume anything. Just try to keep an open mind. Grab any supplies you might need, and let's get going.
All right,
Sooner we get to Montera Luna, the better. See you.
Pay attention to what Ranger Wilcox tells you.
You bet.
Did you catch the thief? Tell me it worked.
Annie, you're supposed to be doing your homework.
Mom, I have to know. You got him, right? Right?
Security has the suspect in custody. Pretty open and shut. He basically gave up on the spot.
I told her over and over be there at midnight. And see? I was right.
Annie L. Wilcox, what did you do?
I told you about it. You know the Laredo robberies? Well, we caught the thief.
Wait, so that's real?
Of course, Mom. I told you.
She's telling the truth. You're not pulling my leg, right?
Crazy as it sounds, she's not lying.
I can't believe it. Annie, we'll talk more about this later. But I'm proud of you. But you've got to be careful.
Yes, Mom. I'm gonna be the best Ranger surveillance assistant ever.
Thank you for helping my girl and anything else involved. Take this. Lord preserve me.
You have a strong-willed little girl there. She's gonna grow up to be an amazing person or a terror to behold. that aspect that I just saw of those two terminals being literally the same thing, just technically different terminals, that's a minor annoyance. Not annoyance, just a minor quibble I would have with the game. You know, why have two computers that have the same stuff? Probably because it's easy. But like, just make one inaccessible or something. I don't know.
Hi, August.
Hey there, Annie.
Would you be my list of suspicious individuals? Gotta make sure we keep an eye on them. Great. It's up to us to help them.
And this place is actually a perfect example of what I was talking about at one point. That there's a bunch of stuff here that if you take it, you're stealing, and there's a bunch of other stuff that is free to take, and I don't know how they determined what was what, other than maybe, you know, they predetermined it, because as you can see, this is the exact same cabinet as the other one, but it feels, you know, you have to be careful. That's all I'll say. You have to be careful. You definitely can't assume that if you can take a few things, you can take everything, or if everything seems to be stolen items, that everything will be stolen items. You know, it's always a toss-up.
Not everyone gets to say they work at the Rock.
I imagine not everyone wants to say they work at the Rock.
We got a lot of bars in the city. All class joints. Well, except Aggie's.
Yeah, she's an acquired taste, I assume. Alright. Well, I mean, I might as well, right? The hostage missions all seem to be on a ship. I don't know why that is exactly. Probably just easier to save the hostage, but... it works for me. Alright, is there anything I need to do before I leave Aquila? Hotel Foley list. Oh yeah, I'm never doing that one on this save. Neon, 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 neon. Alright. We can do those at any point, so we'll go ahead and do this one.
Astra are sometimes spotted by the farms.
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
I have something to give you. I picked something up for you. When you have a moment.
You've got something for me?
No, you've got something for me.
Yeah, what is it? Actually, yes, I do. Here you are.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Unfortunately, before I can continue right away, I've got some things I need to take care of, but I will probably be back soonish. A little bit shorter time frame than I hoped for now, but we'll take care of some more later. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the stars.